If you're dying, no one can revive you and bring you back to life if you're not also trying to breathe internally, right? Because when you're giving a person CPR, they're already gone. It's just you're trying to keep them alive. You're trying to revive them, or you're trying to keep them alive because they're almost gone. But if you're not fighting, there's no sense in them rendering CPR because what's the point? Chuck saw me breathing, you know what I'm saying? And he came with an oxygen tank that was
yeah, let's go ahead.
And was like, here, man, I got some oxygen for you. And that gave me the energy that I needed to just say, all right, I'm ready to change my life. Now, I didn't change my life educationally and start getting better grades until my senior year, but I know somebody who goes live like every morning and they have like 400 and something people in their live every single morning, but there's zero comments on. Like, if you got 400 something people in your live,
right,
you should have comments running through
for sure
your shirt. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that there should only be 2 comments in your live stream with 400 and something people watching.
Right.
Come on, yo. Like, what? Like, you, to me, I just never been that thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for
I
sure.
never been that thirsty.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind,
The bigger you dream.
Hey, the harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
Whoa, whoa.
The harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
The harder
you grind, the bigger you dream.
Let's get it, let's go. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
What's going on, good people? My name is Jeff Young, also known as BackpackJeff, motivational speaker extraordinaire. Run the best mentor group in the whole entire DMV area, man. And can help you do the same exact thing, man. So check me out.
Nah, for sure, man. Man, it's a beautiful day, man. How you feeling today, bro?
I feel good, man. I feel I feel accomplished. Like, I think, winding down the end of the year 2025, I feel accomplished in this year, and I'm looking forward to growing in 2026. Like, I'm looking forward to what 2026 is going to have for not only me but for my family as well. And just the whole compass of Backpack Jeff, the family, everything, man. 2026 is gonna be a great year, bro.
Man, it's up, man. Like, so, like, the upbringing, man, like, where you were born, where you were raised, like, getting to this point, like, you know what I'm saying, like, your childhood, like.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in PG County. Shout out to all my PG Countyans, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in PG County until about the 8th grade. And then after the 8th grade, I went to John F. Kennedy High School in Silver Spring. So I like to think that I got the best of both worlds, like that rough, rugged, you know what I mean, back against the wall kind of, you know what I'm saying, rats and roaches and stuff like that. I like to feel like I got that growing up until I got to high school. And then once I got to high school, I really got the more formal education, the more knowledge, more of the white collar information, the kind of way that I see it. I kind of feel like I grew up in that kind of like blue collar in the sense of like the grind, the struggle, that kind of thing. And then we moved out into Montgomery County. It's funny, man. Dave Chappelle, he has this stand up where he says, he grew up in Silver Spring, but it feels like when you're not rich in Silver Spring, it feels like you're the only one it's happening to. So like in Silver Spring, we didn't have any business really being out in Silver Spring, but my mom knew there was better education in Silver Spring. And so that's where she ultimately sent us. And, throughout that time, man, I've had a lot of struggles. I've had a lot of challenges even in middle school, educational challenges in high school because of not knowing the importance of high school knowledge, information in general. All of those different things, it really kind of led me to being the person that I am now. I'm sure we'll get into it, but that's just kind of like the start of like that upbringing. Single mom of 4. My mom worked for the government her whole entire life. My dad was a drug dealer his whole entire life. And again, I got the best of both worlds, polar opposites, where I saw the hustle man who was the most well-known person on the block and Homer Avenue, which is no longer there anymore, in Suitland. And I saw that. And then I saw the government worker who was very protective about her reputation, her name, the people that are around her, the people who she associated with. So again, I got to see the best of both worlds in many different facets of my life.
Man, that's dope. And that molded the person that we see right now.
Yeah,
know what I
man.
mean? Like we see that, and that's very, very important. I always say that like what you were introduced to or what you go through as a child, it kind of like just follows you
Yeah.
in either being, ambitious and wanting to go get it. You know what I'm saying? I can speak to the fact, being in the DMV, PG, you know what I'm saying, Moco a little bit as well. Went to, St. Michael's, that was a private school. Then after that, went to Archbishop Carroll for a year, then Charles Herbert Flowers High School. So, you know what I'm saying, being in PG and everything like that, you kind of see it and it just kind of molds you over time. So it's like, yo, okay, this is what happens. You know what I mean? And this is what it is. And, like I said, my mom, she's heavy into like numbers and everything, like accounting and things. My dad, he's heavy into like, real estate and architect, but like at an early age, he was always grinding and working. So I was able to see the best of both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that too.
I think I'm the perfect mold of both of my parents. Like for real, like the amount of stuff that we get and we see from our parents, like my grind, my hustle, my grit, my ability to think, problem solve, my gift of gab, if you will, all from my dad. My mom has always been like the formal person, formal education, teaching style, parenting style. I think I got a lot of that from my mom. And so like blending those two things together essentially created a kid, but also created me. It's funny because like my parents would be like, dang, man, you tough, man. Like why you so hard on us? And I'm like, if you don't like me, you raised me. Like the only person you got to be mad at is yourself, because the reason that I'm like this is because of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, take it up with yourselves at the end of the day.
Nah, that's a bar, man. That's a fact too, because at the end of the day, it's like what was instilled in you, as a youngin'.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now as an adult, you see.
Yeah.
So like that transition from like, did you have a favorite class though? Like in school, was there like a class you was probably like, all right, you know what? I like that class. Or,
You know what's funny is that I was always good at math because I'm a very logical person.
Okay.
I'm very black and white. There's no gray area. There's no in between. I'm straightforward, direct. I was always very good at math until it became too difficult for me, to the point where I didn't do the necessary work required in order to continue to be good. But I was always a great writer. And my teachers would like take my writing assignments and they had me write, I had to print it out and make it better and write it and sign it and give it to my mom because it was so good. And I didn't know that was like the first introduction into me being the person that I am today. It's amazing when a young person has people in their lives who can see the things that they can't see, and who can say, yo, that's something that you should pay more attention to. And I think that the more young people have those things, those type of people in their lives that can highlight the things that they're good at, I think it's going to be more beneficial for the kid in the long run. Because as I look back on it now, I'm like, yo, I was a great writer in English. I was always good in English. I was always a phenomenal writer. I hated reading per se. I just didn't like what I was reading. I love reading. I just cannot read Shakespeare, bro. There's nothing about me that is excited about reading Shakespeare, because the language doesn't even make sense. I can appreciate the language for what it was, but I just can't. It's difficult. I'm not going to say I can't, right? It's difficult for me to read Shakespeare, and it requires more muscle to read Shakespeare than I was willing to offer at the time. So math was always my favorite subject. But I think I was always good at writing and speaking. I just didn't hone those skills.
That's fair, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm the polar opposite. Like
Really?
I love reading and writing. I do that all day long. When it came to math, yeah, counting the money is fine. But once it got to geometry and people that already know me, oh no.
Yeah.
Like it's because all of those formulas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, what does pi have to do with anything? You know what I mean? Like that's what it was for me. I'm like, all right, well, it's because I was never a fan of pie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dessert time, I'm getting the cake. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't relate to it. So I just realized there was so many formulas. But what I did learn about geometry is like the struggle for me was being stuck on my own angle of life and viewing it how I wanted to view it. And how you were saying like, okay, like there was gray for me, like black and white,
Yeah.
mixing that crayon together. Yeah. It was very gray.
Yeah.
First half of it. Second half, I understood it, but it was more so application and seeing myself using it.
Yeah.
And I think, to what you were saying is like when you see yourself using something or being around that, then it's like, okay, being able to problem solve and being able to realize like you are a part of the equation. How you gonna solve it?
Yeah.
And then once I understood that, I'll never forget my teacher, Mr. Epton. Like shout out to him. He really gave me a different perspective on it, and I was able to do that and pass the class and get my high school diploma. I needed that because my mom was gonna be in my you know what if I ain't get it.
You already know, man. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really like math, because of the problem solving aspect. That problem solving has taught me a lot about life, and when you build that problem solving muscle, man, it teaches you how to problem solve in other areas of your life. That's one of the things that I try to teach students all the time, is that yes, you may not ever need this subject, but this subject teaches you how to learn something in a different manner. It teaches you how to use different muscles. It teaches you how to operate in a different frequency than what you're used to. And when you can use different muscles to think through different problems, it bodes well for you in your life, because you have no idea when you're ever going to use these skills. But it's better to have the skill and not need it than to need the skill and not have it.
That's a bar, man. Yeah. That's heavy. That's heavy. No, I agree, because as we see it now and we're in adulthood, we looking back, we like, well, what didn't happen?
Yeah.
There's so many things that transpired and stuff like that. So, as you transition to adulthood, what was that moment for you being like, I'm an adult?
Yeah.
I'm not a kid no more. I'm really an adult now.
I think it happened in college. When I was in college, after my second year of college, my sophomore year, I had to take a semester off. And the reason I had to take a semester off was because I owed the school about $6,000, $5,500 to be exact. I owed the school that money, and they told me that you can't come back until this balance is paid. And I did everything that I possibly could in order to pay that balance. I worked 3 jobs. I took the semester off, and to maintain life, I still had to pay for life. And I'm working at Bob Evans making $9 an hour, $10 an hour. That's not going to allow me to pay for my life as well as pay back $5,000 in a 6-month time frame, because the second semester started in that first semester started in August, and we ended in May, right? So May to September, August, like I had to pay that back. It's just something that didn't happen. And then I had to wait all the way until January to make it actually happen. And still living life, like those moments taught me that, number one, nobody was coming to save me, because as much as I wanted to quit, as much as I wanted to give up, I called my mom on the phone. I was like, Mom, I'm coming home, yo. Like, I can't do this no more. She said, if you come home, I'm not opening the door, and hung up the phone on me. And to a lot of people that would sound harsh, but my mom understood the son that she had in that moment, where she said, you finished 50% of this college degree. You're not going to come back home and do nothing when you haven't even exhausted all of your options to try to figure out what you could possibly do in this time. So figure it out. Figure out what you need to do in order to get yourself back into school, continue school, right? So my mom helped me out with a loan to pay some other stuff off, but I still had that balance. And I did everything that I could to pay that balance. I paid that balance down to about $398. I met this guy, one of the resident directors, the RDs of like the dorms, right? Mm-hmm. He asked me to come and play basketball, and I was like, man, I'm not going to go play basketball. I'm just going to chill. He's like, no, man, there's a guy here that I want you to meet. His name is Chuck Bailey. Chuck Bailey owns an insurance company in Waynesburg. He's one of the wealthiest people in Waynesburg. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go there. I'm playing basketball. I'm taking all of my anger out on these dudes. I mean, I'm dunking. I'm doing everything. I'm going crazy out here. And then after the game, Chuck and I started talking, and they was like, man, Chuck is one of the people who we told about your story, and Chuck likes to invest in guys like you. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. And so the next day they said, man, you should give him a call. And I was like, dude, I just met him yesterday. It's like, nah, give him a call. He'll give you the money. Chuck's the type of guy that would do that. And I called Chuck and I asked him, told him my story. He said, yeah, I heard about your story. And he ended up giving me a check for $400 that day, man. I was on the phone. I said, hold on, Mr. Bailey, I got to call you back. I cried because this was my opportunity to redeem myself. And the amount of people that invested in me in that time, because it wasn't just Chuck, it was RAs, it was RDs, it was ex-coaches at that time. The amount of people that invested in me at that time, I felt that as my responsibility that I had to continue and I had to finish at a very high level, not just finish and do mediocre and just get by. I really felt like I had to finish at a high level. And I always say, the DMV raised me, but being in Pennsylvania taught me how to be a man, because it taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet. It taught me about credit. It taught me the bads about credit. It taught me a whole lot. But that was the moment where I really felt like I was an adult, because I knew that no one could save me at this moment. And this was the moment that that would determine where I went for the rest of my life.
No, for sure. And I think that's, shout out to him though, because like I said, like when people see something and they're able to like just go ahead and like help, sometimes we don't even know where that comes from. We'd be like, wait, what? Is this even real? But the fact that he was able to see something in you and being like, yo, I want help. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people like, how can I help you is always going to be more important than what can I gain. In that situation, it's like, nah, you know what? I'm really trying to figure this out. I'm really trying to, you know, like level up in life. And it's like, nah, I know that this is important. So let me go ahead and make this investment. But not only that, just to understand like, yo, you got to, you know, push through and get through what you need to get through.
Yeah. People will invest in you if they see you investing in yourself first. Nobody's just going to jump out the window and go, yo, I'm going to invest and I'm going to take a chance on this person. Why would they take a chance on you having to take a chance on yourself? I used to do this speech called CPR, CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, but for me, it stood for core perseverance restoration. And the theme behind the speech was always, you got to be the first one to breathe life into your goals and dreams before anybody else can breathe life into your goals and dreams.
I agree with that.
If you're dying, no one can revive you and bring you back to life if you're not also trying to breathe internally, right? Because when you're giving a person CPR, they're already gone. It's just you're trying to keep them alive. You're trying to revive them, or you're trying to keep them alive because they're almost gone. But if you're not fighting, there's no sense in them rendering CPR, because what's the point, right? So that's the way that I saw life, was that Chuck saw me breathing, you know what I'm saying? And he came with an oxygen tank that was
let's go ahead.
And was like, here, man, I got some oxygen for you. And that gave me the energy that I needed to just say, all right, I'm ready to change my life. Now, I didn't change my life educationally and start getting better grades until my senior year, but I knew that this was my opportunity to finish strong, to get my degree and actually make something out of myself.
For sure. And that's important, man. So like, of course, you know, pivoting from, you know, of course, high school, getting the diploma, getting a degree, you know, like I said, and of course, you know, staying with that as well. When did you really unlock purpose? Because I know like a lot of it is like, all right, bet, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm navigating all that stuff. But now it's like, when did I find my purpose? And when did I know like, yo, okay, this is me, ain't no looking back?
I think it happened right around June 4th, 2014. On June 4th, 2014, I lost my house and my job the same exact day. And it was a beautiful tragedy. I don't think Hollywood could have written a better script on how I would lose my house and my job the same exact. I'm talking about within hours of each other. We were going through an investigation at my job because of some information that was said. And my landlord, she texted me and she said, hey, Jeff, I got a 911 emergency. I need to speak to you. I said, well, if it's an emergency, I can call you on the phone. She said, no, I need to speak to you in person. I said, well, wouldn't you know it? I'm leaving work early. I'll be home in about 15 minutes if you want to stop by the house. I went to the house, cleaned up, made sure everything was good. And I'm thinking to myself that I pay rent, but I'm like, yeah, it's June 4th. I had to have paid rent on the 1st, so I'm good. She knocked on the door. She handed me a eviction notice and said, I sold the house. You got 30 days to get out. Now, that let me know that people in life will do whatever is the most beneficial for them at the drop of a dime. Because if you want to sell your investment property, someone has to make a heck of an offer for you to sell your investment property, or you have to be going through something for you to sell your investment property. The thing that I'm saying is that nobody makes that decision at the drop of a dime. That's a thought process that takes an extended period of time that she could have taught me, that she could have told me about, but she never chose to tell me about. And that right there was when I slipped into my deepest depression. It was me and my dog, Sarabi. At that point in time, I was forced to stay away from my daughter because of legal reasons. And I found myself homeless and sleeping in my car, man. Like I would sleep outside of hotels. And I would sleep outside of hotels for months at a time, days at a time, weeks at a time. And I would sleep outside of a hotel that had continental breakfast, you know, the hotels that had the free breakfast and stuff like that. And so what I would do was I would take my bag my duffel bag, like, you know how you go to the gym. I take my duffel bag and I would walk in and I would look at my watch and I would act like I was checking the time and I was in a hurry. And I was like, okay, should I go to my hotel room or should I eat breakfast? You know what? Let me go over and eat breakfast real quick. And so I would go over, eat breakfast. And then when the receptionist turned their head, I would just slip out of the back door. And I kept my membership at the YMCA so I could just work out at the Y and I could shower at the Y as well. So I did that for a couple of months. And then I ended up getting into the insurance business. Now, in the insurance business, we worked on flat commission. So if you don't sell nothing, you don't eat. I ended up winning an all expenses paid trip to the Bahamas, an all expenses paid trip to Jamaica. The Bahamas trip landed me in jail. We can talk about that a little later if you want, but I was doing really well in the insurance business. And I started listening to these speakers, yo. I started listening to Eric Thomas, Dr. Miles Monroe, Umar Johnson, Tony Robbins, Gary V, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor. And I started listening to all of these people tell these stories. And I'm like, man, yo, I can do that, yo. I can really do that. And I tried it, bro. I tried it. I rented out an 800 seat theater. Cost me almost $2,000. I said, man, everybody wants to hear a motivational speaker talk, man. This is the stuff that gets me up. I'm gonna rent out this 800 seat theater for $2,000. I'm in the insurance business now. I'm doing really well in life. I'm gonna sell tickets for it. I ended up selling 15 tickets at like $20 a ticket. So what I don't know, $300 maybe, something like that. So lost about $1,700 on it. I asked my church to come out and open up for me, like the praise team. Everybody loved my church praise team. And I'm like, all right, if the praise team will sing for me, then maybe more people will come. No, still sold 15 tickets. And I spoke. And even during that time, it's still, even, you know, suffering that loss, I did my first speech. It's still on YouTube to this day. I haven't went back and listened to it in a long time, but I probably should. But that taught me a huge lesson in terms of building your brand. But then number two, it also taught me that you got to spend money to make money, right? You got to try some stuff. And then it also let me know that perseverance, even though I failed this bad, I wasn't going to quit. And so all of those events kind of led up to me finding my purpose and saying, yo, this is something that I feel like I should be doing. Like, this is my calling. This is my life purpose.
Nah, for sure. That's heavy, man. Cause like I said, like when you lock in on it, man, it ain't no looking back, really. Like literally, I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, okay, when you start something, it's like, you know, you're gonna have to finish everything that you start.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to stay consistent when it comes to, like, you know, building things and all that stuff. I'm like, yo, okay, going to, you know, after Flowers for Me, then after that went to Bowie. You know, I'm working, you know, 2 jobs as well. You know, FedEx, Buffalo Wild Wings, lost both of them jumps. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Then I'm like, all right, cool. But, you know, transitioning to like, all right, man, just working with the kids. But that literally was just off of serving. I didn't know. God just put me in these places like, hey, yo, this is what I want you to do. Yeah. So when I was volunteering with the kids and just, you know, working like those jobs or those opportunities, taking advantage of those opportunities, and that's what happened. Yeah. And now I'm like, all right, cool. Then I start working with kids, and I'm really like, whoa, this is different. Same little youngin' that used to be in the schools as a kid, like your little wild self or whatever it is. Now all of a sudden you helping the next generation.
That's amazing.
You know, so now it's like, and then I'm seeing it, and I'm like, okay, but it's different. Yeah. But that first week, it didn't even feel like work. So that's how I knew that was my purpose. Like, I'm supposed to be helping the kids. Right. But doing what, though? Right. So we had talked about, like, mentoring and all that stuff. That just kept me on fire for doing it. Yeah. Like, it's like, yo, this is needed. This is necessary. This is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So as I see it, I'm like, all right, working, but also solving the problems. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. And being able to do that. And like I said, grind hard, dream big, man. I was watching the news as a youngin', always hearing all the negative stuff. What about the positive stuff? That's why I started the podcast. Yeah. It was all the negative that I was watching on the news and all that. Yeah. Create something positive.
Positive news outlet, man. I love it.
Yeah. That's what it was, literally. Yeah. And started November 6th, 2020, ain't look back.
Yeah. That's funny, man. It took me like 2 years to start my podcast, bro. I think I had the idea in 2018. or 2020 and didn't start until like 2022. And even then wasn't even consistent with it then, man. I just think, I think that whatever we do in life, we have to be consistent at it. Like, we got to make sure that we are becoming the people required in order to have the success that we desire. Myron Golden said something very profound when he said, it doesn't take a long time to make $1 million. It takes a long time to become the person required to make $1 million. Because notice how most millionaires, after they make their first million, they quickly make their second and their third. And so it's the habits, it's the skills that they have acquired over a long period of time, right? Like, it's like I'm thinking of it right now in my head. It's reminding me of like Liam Neeson when he called the guy who took his daughter. He's like, I've a lot of skills that I've acquired over a long period of time, right? That's what we have to have. We have to have a set of skills acquired over a long period of time so that we can do something like getting our daughter back if we need to, or realizing our goals or our potential and living in that purpose.
Yeah, for sure. And just realizing that you're just constantly building.
Yeah.
Like I said, constantly working out that skill. Because like
For
I
sure.
said, even with that, like networking, bro, I know networking has been like phenomenal for both of us. Now I'm saying, like, you know, it's 2022. At that time for me, I'm like, all right, I'm looking at, you know, speaking and stuff like that, but I'm not, you know, I'm still doing research because I'm doing, you know, the community events, you know, grateful for all the people I met, you know, Miss Kimberly Marshall, she took me under the wing. We, you know, did back to school events, you know what I'm saying, feeding the homeless in the community. She's showing me the ins and outs. She like, yo, if you really want to do this, this is what it look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get in the field, learn it, study it. Now you'll be able to organize, plan, and execute and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Now you're working with the youth and stuff like that. So now what's next? And I remember, boom, it was a Friday. I'm like, boom, I got a shift at FedEx. Should I go ahead and work this joint? Sit there and see your video on Instagram, like, yo, I'm at the office. Hey, yo, anybody that's trying to like build, evolve, all this other stuff, man, I'm here. X, Y, Z. Boom, I reach out to you. Boom, know what I'm saying? Instead of going to my shift, know what I'm saying, pull up on you. That's how serious it was.
Yeah.
Share the ideas, share everything. You're like, bro, like, dog, this your social media page? Mind you, the old one I had, like, yeah, I had the old joint. My old joint got hacked. God, like,
That's
okay.
crazy. They got so many people like that, man. Bro, my Facebook page was hacked when I was on a $30,000 bonus, bro.
Wow.
I was doing a $30,000 bonus on my Facebook page, and my joint got hacked, dog. And the first email that came in was, did you recently change your password? I'm like, no. And I'm going and I'm trying to fight back, and it was just crazy. And I ended up getting the Facebook page back, but I never ended up getting like my old Facebook profile back because it violated a whole bunch of community guidelines. I'm sure that the person was probably posting inappropriate pictures and quotes and videos and all of that stuff, man. It was crazy, bro. I tried everything to get that Facebook profile back, but I ended up getting my Facebook page back, but it just wasn't the same, man.
Yeah, like, because like for people that, you know, didn't really pay attention, it was the JFlow 301. That was my first page. So I'm like, all right, boom. You know, July 5th, 2020, started doing the motivational videos. November 6th, started the podcast. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You were seeing all that. Then, of course, it's like, all right, man, one of the homies, I know he rap and everything, slid in the DM, me like, yeah, bro, I got a little joint. Vote for me. I ain't look nothing past it. I'm like, all right, bet, click the link. Ain't no harm, no foul. Click the link. All of a sudden, I'm trying to get back in the joint. I can't even get back in my page. My page is gone.
What?
Then all of a sudden, I'm like, dang, I'm so serious. Boom. My man set me up. My homie set me up. They're like, hold up, bro. Like, hey, yo, your page got hacked. My man like, bro, you about to make a new page? I said, yeah, I'm about to make a new page. He like, what? For real? You're not going to, bro, make a new page. Just listening to everything. Like, all right, whatever. Because I had 1,000 followers and I was geeked. Like, yeah, man, I finally reached 1,000. No, whatever. But that whole entire time, I feel like God was just in there saying, like, bro, it's about the followers for you? What's it about for real? Is it about the likes and the views or the needs and the love? Like, we're going to keep doing this. I got you. So I'm like, all right, bet. Go back or whatever like that. My man's and them like, yeah, bro, your old page, what you selling, Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I'm not even selling Bitcoin. I don't know nothing about that. What's that?
Yeah.
Whatever. So boom, JFlow 301 MD page. Started that joint from ground up. Went back. Lo and behold, bro, God multiplied everything.
Yeah.
Everything. The videos, you're gonna still be consistent, X, Y, Z. So
Huge.
when we sat down, you're like, he got this amount of followers, but
The
this?
the views was going crazy when we first met. Like, that was one of the things that I took notice of, was that
right.
your following wasn't that big, but your view count was definitely there. And you can tell when a person is buying their view count, because they'll have 50,000 views and 2 comments.
Right.
There's no way you're going to get 50,000 views on something, 2 comments and 3 shares.
Right.
That lets me know, you know what I'm saying? That
Right.
lets me know that there's 0 engagement on this, because if 50,000 people viewed this jump, like I know somebody who goes live like every morning, and they have like 400 and something people in their live every single morning, but there's 0 comments on. Like, if you got 400 something people in your live,
Right.
you should have comments running through
For sure.
your shirt. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that there should only be 2 comments in your live stream with 400 and something people watching.
Right.
Come on, yo. Like, what? Like, you, to me, I just never been that thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for
I
sure.
never been that thirsty. I'm like, bro, I'll it's crazy. Yeah, I've never been that thirsty.
Yeah.
That's super wild.
I just kept going and it multiplied. So I
Yeah.
just kept going. I'm like, all right, but you know what? God was like, you know what? You needed to revamp. You needed
Yeah.
to sit there and do something different.
Mhm.
And then once I did that, then I understood, like, okay, this is not just a page just to have. This is literally
Yeah.
how you broke it down for me, which really made more sense for me. Like, this is a service.
Mhm.
When they come to you, what does your page offer? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And what are you providing? What service are
Yeah.
you providing? They're coming to your page for what? If you in the fashion, you got the latest design, is this, or hey yo, if you cook or whatever it is, whatever skill set, whatever you're presenting to people, that's what they should see.
Yeah.
They should know what you're doing. So when
Absolutely.
you broke that down to me, I'm like, all right, bet this is, in basketball terms, it's a layup. It's easy now.
Yeah.
I get it. They see the motivational video. Okay, cool. Now all of a sudden, if they see you out and about at your event, you have that picture as well. And then you just keep that consistent. Whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
you need to sit there and broadcast and let the people know, because
Yeah.
that's what they come into your page for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you broke that down to me, I'm like, all right, bet. And then
Yeah.
I just seen it evolve and go more and more and more, especially when you put a system in place too.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man.
Yeah. So that helped tenfold. And then
Yeah.
like even with that, and then you were like, yo, like sharing your story is very, very important. So like, of course, like overcoming adversity, that ain't nothing for you, because that's something that I've sit back and I've witnessed. I'm in student mode myself. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro.
You gotta build that overcoming adversity muscle. And the more you overcome in life, the more you believe you can overcome in life. The more you overcome in life, the better you get at doing it, and in the shorter amount of time it actually takes you to do it. So when I had to get back in school, I say it took me about 7 months to get back in school. When I lost my house and my job, it took me 11 days to find a new house and a new job. When I got fired from my job, when I came back here in the DMV, it didn't take me as long to land on my feet, because I was preparing for those moments. And then my muscle of resilience was a lot stronger than what it was when I was in college and I had to take that semester off. I never felt like, oh, I got to go back because of this. I never felt like, oh, I got to quit because of this. Like I've built this. Like the Weeknd's got a song and he says, I'm not afraid to fall because I felt the ground before. I'm not afraid to live in turmoil. I'm not afraid to live in struggle because I felt this before. Like I know what it feels like to have my lights turned out and walk in the house with 27 and have to light 27 candles with my child here. I know what it feels like to have no hot water and there's no heat in the house, and you know what I'm saying? And me and my daughter are sleeping in a bedroom with a microwave and a mini fridge, and we got the house blocked off with sheets and a space heaters in that room. Like I know how that stuff feels, so that stuff doesn't scare me anymore. I think the more you build up that resistance muscle, I think the easier it is for you to, number one, take risk, and the faster you are able to overcome the struggles that happen in your life. We all going to have struggles.
Yeah,
we all
that's a
going to
fact.
have struggles. It's just I said to God, I was like, listen, all right, God, I don't want to have to learn no more lessons the hard way. Like from here on out, everything that you teach me, I just want it to be taught the easy way. Like I don't want to have to lose You know what I'm saying? $10,000 on nothing. Like, just let me lose $10, and I swear to you, I learned my lesson with this $10. You do not have to let me lose anything big for me to learn the lesson. Like, I know, I get it. I trust me. I'm doing my due diligence and everything, man. I'm well thought out in many things. I take calculated risk in everything that I do. Before I move, I understand that success loves speed, but also I'm able to think and process information very quickly. And I trust and I follow my instincts. If something doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to slow walk it. And if there's any hesitation on it, there's a reason for that hesitation. So
Yeah, not for sure. You definitely have to be calculated and knowing what you're doing when you're in the
Yeah.
field, and definitely things like that. And like I said, when we were talking about networking, it's plenty of things when it comes to networking, and that's a skill within itself too, right?
Yeah.
As we kind of sort of see. So like in the space that you're in now, how pivotal is it for you and your profession to network, for one, and then two, just being able to, like the follow through, because I think that that's also important too. Like, yeah, we're in the room, sure, we're gauging an event, but at the same time, like, our call to action has to be clear.
So I think the last thing that you said is probably the most important.
Okay.
When you're networking, you really have to understand what your outcome is, right? Am I networking to build a relationship, or am I networking to seize an opportunity? So if I'm networking to build a relationship, that's a different type of networking. I'm not putting you in my CRM, right? I'm putting you in my phone. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a difference. So like if networking is huge for me right now in this space, to find people that I can develop relationships with. As far as networking to find somebody to sell to, I don't do that so much because I'm really good at selling cold, right? I'm really good at cold calling, cold emailing. I'm really good at marketing myself, at promoting myself. So I don't necessarily network to sell something, but I think it's important to network to build relationships so that people can put you in opportunity, can give you opportunities, and so that people can put you in position to win. And then also you can put them in position to win. But the biggest challenge for me in networking is finding people that are equally as valuable to me as I am to them. I think what happens a lot of time in my case, and I told you when we was outside, all 2026, I'm gonna just start popping my stuff. Like,
respectfully.
The issue is bro, I'm always the most valuable in every relationship, bro. I want some people who I feel like can come into my life and teach me stuff, help me grow, because I know I can do the same for you, right? I know I can teach you stuff. I know I can help you grow.
Right.
I know I can provide you information. I know like the amount of investing that I've done in myself and technology. I know I can help you record content. I know I can help you record your podcast. I got a studio, so I can help you do that. Like, I'm trying to find people who are equally as valuable as I am, and people who desire to have that relationship. Bro, I can't remember what I was watching, but they say, man, for men, making friends in their 30s is nearly impossible. For real, bro.
Crazy.
Making friends for men, making friends in their 30s is nearly impossible, because at that point most people already have their circle, and it's hard to infiltrate that circle unless you provide some sort of value.
Facts.
But then it's like, are you only in that circle because of the value that you provide?
Right.
And not because of who you are genuinely as a person. So
Right.
I love networking, but I think at this point in my life, I'm more interested in building genuine relationships, and not just a what can I do for you or what can you do for me type of friendship, right? Like, I learned that lesson the hard way in business. I was in the beginning, bro, I started doing this lifestyle marketing, and I was, I'd show people my emails, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, just did a $20,000 deal at this college, just did this. And then when I start asking people to do stuff, they'd be like, I'm like, yo, how much would you charge to come out and do a poem of this joint? They like $250. No, she said, they said $500. I was like, yo, you've never charged $500 to do a poem ever. Why would you charge me $500 to do a poem? Oh, because they know I've been telling them how much I'm getting paid. That's why they coming to me and saying $500 because I know you would go here and take this 150. I know you would.
Right.
For having to be there for 2 hours.
Right.
I know you would go and take the 150.
Right.
So you mean to tell me you wouldn't come here and just be here for the time that you have to perform for 15 minutes, 17 minutes tops to get in, perform out 17 minutes. You're going to charge me $500 for that? I did that to myself because of the quote unquote lifestyle marketing. So like when you need people to help fulfill your service, I think the lifestyle marketing isn't a good thing. Because people will try to hit you over the head with some ridiculous prices, bro. And,
Nah, for sure.
And it's crazy. But so in regards to networking, I'm more interested. Like I think in 2026, I'm going to join the Gathering Spot. You familiar?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, I think I'm going to join the Gathering Spot because I think that like in the book Atomic Habits, he said, go and join the circles where the people already have the habits that you desire. And I think the people in the Gathering Spot, what's funny is that I had a horrible experience the first time I tried to join a Gathering Spot. I went to an event of theirs. Nobody showed up to the event.
Wow.
No, nobody showed up to the event. Nobody's here directing people. All I see is just people over in the corner working on their laptops. That's all I see. And I'm like, where are all the people at? I've waited there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Nobody showed up. I was like, I'm never coming to the Gathering Spot again. And then I started seeing more of their stuff online. I'm like, dang, man, like I gotta get into that circle. I think that network is gonna be great for what it is that I'm trying to do. And so in 2026, I'm gonna give it another try, Gathering Spot. But if this is another bad experience, y'all will never hear the end of me saying that this was a terrible experience. I swear to you. I swear. Anytime somebody talks to me about networking spot, don't join the Gathering Spot. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna say it. if it's 2 bad experiences in a row with trying to join the Gathering Spot, which I hope it's not, because I really respect what they're doing.
Facts. I think like networking is, similar to what you're saying though, as well. Like, man, networking, that's where I'm at as well, to be honest, because it's like, being in the community, working with people and everything like that. Gotta always have to add value in situations, right?
Yeah.
So I always, like I said, math, going back to the math thing, it's like, you add value, you subtract your pride, your ego, you multiply your effort. That's how you can be successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've told myself, wrote it down, X, Y, and Z. And I'm realizing that as well, because you're in spaces where, of course, you have so much value, you have so much to offer. Mm-hmm. And then what is also on the other end of that, where it's like, all right, cool, like, let's be able to build and do events and things like that. And that's why I'm saying, like, I value the relationship we got, you know what I'm saying, from mentor to mentee, or however people want to call it. It's like, for me, if I'm doing something, I'm always going to include the people around me. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Because if I can't do it, and I know that this person can, why not?
Right. Yeah.
That just makes logical sense, so that way you don't have to tackle so much. Yeah. Hey, yo, bro, you know what? Hey, yo, you want to do a workshop on this? I know that this is your expertise. Boom, you can go ahead and do that. They just want me to do a little spill on this, or whatever it may be. Yeah, that's adding value at the same time, and we're doing the same thing. We're both putting each other in position to do bigger and better things. Throwing the alley-oop, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ball. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand, like, I feel like you were sitting there saying earlier, too, I think the pride and the ego be in the way, too. And it's a lot of that.
Yeah, when we did an event together. I'm not gonna say what event, but we did an event together, and they was like, "Yo, let's everybody share all of our contacts and social medias and stuff like that, man. We should do some work together." And nothing ever transpired from creating that email list, contact list, phone numbers, and all of that stuff, man. So I think, I think that there needs to be more cohesion and collaboration, such as everybody thinks or they'll say. But I think there needs to be more cohesion and more collaboration, because I think, bro, we can just do so much together, man.
Facts.
And listen, dude, we can break bread together. There's so much out here for us to win at, man. So we're gonna see who's winning in 2026, man. My word, so I do this every year. I do one word to change your life. And my word for this year was separation. So my word for this year was all about separating myself from those in my space that are trying to do the same thing that I'm doing. And I think this year I successfully accomplished that. My word for 2026 is Vegas, man. Because me and my wife went to Vegas for our honeymoon, and Vegas did everything big and bombastic and at a huge, gigantic level. And I think that's what I need to do too, bro. Everything that I do this year, 2026, needs to be huge, monumental. It needs to be blown up. It needs to be at an exuberant level to where people are like, yo, that's fire. So like, yeah, I'm blowing up everything that I do this year, bro.
Nah, for
Everything
sure.
that I do this year is gonna be Vegas.
My man said Terminator vibes.
Yeah,
It's all right.
It's gonna be Vegas like, man. It's gonna be Vegas like.
I ain't mad at that. I feel like every year, like for myself, it's just like, how could I be better than next year? And
Yeah.
I'm seeing that from, you know, the events and all of that and the numbers and things of that nature. So it's just like celebrating more wins and like, you know, I know you said separation this year. Separation is going to be my word for next year.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is like, yes, you're doing it at a high magnitude. Now you're going to separate yourself from the pack. Like you've been doing that already, but now you're going to really like understand the magnitude of it. And that's where I'm at really with it because I feel like, yeah, literally grinding hard and dreaming big, like that's already big within the self and the territory's already been expanded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's just putting more in place and just applying pressure from day one. And
Yeah, man.
every single time opportunity you get to just keep going, man. So like as we're doing this though, bro, like what's the self-care like? Because I know we be ripping and running, dog.
Yeah, so actually, man, self-care for me now just looks like King Spa, big dog. Me and my wife, man, we go to King Spa out in Tyson's area, McLean, Virginia. And bro, we like King Spa needs to sponsor a trip for me and my wife. All right. Because I've told many people about your organization, not Bali and Springs, even though we're going to try them out too, but King Spa, I've sent many people to your establishment that you guys don't even know about, right? I should at least have an affiliate link at this point. But no, man, self-care looks like going to King Spa, get massages, sit in the hot tub, sit in the pools, the saunas, the cold tubs, the cold rooms, eating the food, just relaxing, being in a space and environment that is tranquil, that gives a sense of repose, where it feels like I'm entering another state or country, but I'm still in the DMV area. So for me, it looks like that's what self-care looks like, bro. Just give me a day at King Spa from the open to close and I'm good, man. Like that's what it looks like, bro. And working out too. So
yeah, that's fine.
Working
man.
out and eating well.
For sure, yeah. I definitely would say like that, journaling for me, taking a walk, you know what I'm saying, massage envy, all those things.
Yeah.
You gotta definitely pour back into yourself because it's like, man, we be doing a lot.
For
we
sure,
just gotta
man.
sit there and just
For sure,
taking
man.
time out. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey man, you can't complain about the food on your plate when the goal was to eat.
Facts.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
heavy.
Like I can't listen, they said they said if I gotta cry, I'd rather cry in this Lamborghini. And listen, if I'm gonna cry, I'd rather cry in my dream car than cry in whatever bucket, you know, I may have been driving in my past. So hey, if I'm working and I'm busy, that's fine. I had a conversation with my wife and I didn't say this exactly to her, but I think this was like the version of what I was trying to say, where it was like because me and Christoph had this conversation recently and I said it to Christoph. I was like, yeah, me and Bree, we had a conversation that I made the statement where I'm like, I might have to be an absent father in 2026. Not that I'm going to completely absolve myself of all of my responsibilities as a father, but I need you to understand that there are seasons in relationships where sometimes a person has to do the impossible in order to make something drastic happen and shift in that family dynamic. And it may be her turn to do that at some point in time in the future, right? Because she's a writer and she may need to go away for 3 months so that she can write this movie or so that she can do whatever it is that she needs to do, right? And that's a thing that you know, that I feel like we are willing to come together and talk about. And, you know, like I said, I wouldn't completely absolve myself of all responsibilities as a father, because that's not fair to her. And that's not the arrangement that we made. And that's not the understanding that we had coming into our relationship. But we've had a conversation recently where I'm like, when I come home, I still need to be working at this thing. Like, I'm gonna make sure that my son and my daughter and, you know, everybody gets their time and you get your time, and I'm gonna make sure everybody gets their time. But I need to be so focused and locked in this year. I only got 3 years to retire you. I told you I was going to retire you at 35. You're 32 now. 30. Yeah, she's 32 now. I gotta retire you, yo. But I can't do that if I'm here on time every time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm home every single day at 4:00 and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm not doing anything because dinner, time with the kids, time with you, bed, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff. Like, no, I might have to be an absent father in 2026. Just a little bit though.
Yeah, because like I said, you got that humongous, enormous goal that you're gonna sit there and be like, nah, we're gonna be straight. Like, I don't want you sitting there lifting nothing else, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to put in that work to go overtime to be like, nah, this is what we deserve. This is what you want, and I don't want you touching nothing.
And that's what we're doing.
That's solid, bro.
That's what we're doing with the content. We're focusing on Hey, listen, follow _Young's house on all social media platforms. We are we're into the content creation as a family now, and the goal is to use this to retire her if I don't personally get to retire you myself. I can commit to making the content regularly, editing the content, doing all of this stuff, right? I can commit to doing all of those things. I'm completely fine with that. But at the same time, I still need to work, right? So if I don't retire you from Backpack Jeff, I should be able to retire you from the content that we're doing, because we've had multiple content ideas that went viral in the last 30 days, dude. We created our Facebook page on November 23rd, and we're already over 2,000 subscribers on our Facebook page. And we already have one video at 1.2 million views in 30 days.
I'm clapping that up.
In 30 days.
That up. That's
and
amazing.
bro, we grew our Instagram 700 followers in the last 30 days. 700 like, dude, we were at like 150 like November 20 something. Yeah, like November 20 something. And then I did one video and it went crazy on all platforms. And then I was like, oh yeah, that was the momentum. And then we had another one that went crazy. And then we had another one that went crazy. And then it was like, oh shoot, we on to something now. We on to something now. We got it. And then ever since then, everything, like a bad post for us is like 5,000 views now. Yeah, 5,000 views, 150 comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bad post for us. We're usually in like 20,000, 50,000, 60,000. My wife is going viral right now. I think her video last time I checked was at 176,000. Like, we doing a lot, bro. So we gonna retire one of these two ways, whichever one pop off first. You know
it's
gonna be the 7 or the 11. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I like that though, and it's just like I said, putting those things in place and like having that most important conversation, like you said. You know what I'm saying, and putting the strategy in it. You know what I'm saying, because now it's like, okay, everybody wants momentum, but you got to build a moment. Then you have to know what it is. It's like, dog, this is just a moment. This is the moment. But the more moments that you rack up, the more moments that you have, there's the momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take advantage of it, man. You got to take advantage of it.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man, he didn't sat there and gave y'all a lot of gems today, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Like,
for sure.
So with all of that, bro, like the motivation for like the youngins, you know, I especially with us both working with the, you know, the next generation, like, what are some issues that you see with the kids, and then what's some motivation that you would give to the kids? You know what I mean?
For sure. The biggest concern that I've seen with the kids is two things: lack of motivation and lack of confidence. I don't think enough kids believe that they can be something phenomenal. And the reason that I say that is because I've done a survey with my youth and my program, and I've done a survey with college students as well. So this is middle school all the way to college level, where the two biggest concerns was confidence and motivation. Mr. Backpack, when you wake up in the morning, how are you motivated? I'm just not motivated to get out of the bed. I said the reason you're not motivated is because you don't know what your goal is for the day. You don't know what you're accomplishing. In the book Atomic Habits, James Clear teaches most people think they lack motivation when what they really lack is clarity. Think about how easily you go through your life when you know I got to wake up at 7. I got to be here at 7:30. I got to go here at 8:30. I got to be here at 9:15. I got this meeting at 9:30. I got this. Your day goes by. You know what I'm saying? You good. You wake up motivated, inspired, energetic, but that's because you know where you're going.
Right.
A lot of youth, they don't know like the purpose of their lives, bro. So they lack motivation and then they lack confidence, right? A lot of youth want to show up perfect in everything that they do. They don't want to show up in progress. They want to show up in perfection. They want to show up already busting down threes from 27 feet and, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever. They don't want to show you the ugly. They just want you to see the pretty. And I think that's where social media has played a big role on kids, where it's like, yo, you got to be pretty. You got to be, you know what I'm saying, bust down. You got to have 40-inch bust down with your edges laid, and you got to have your nails done, and you got to have, the drippy fits and stuff like that. Like, it was a lot of pressure on me growing up without social media so much, right? We had MySpace and Facebook.
Yeah.
But we again, being in Silver Spring, where you see all of the kids, the rich white kids and black kids, with all of the J's, all of the shoes, all of the clothes, all of the, you know what I'm saying, the nice stuff. That was a lot of pressure on me seeing that in person. Imagine seeing it all in person and seeing it all online, right?
All over your phone.
So yeah, that's the biggest challenge is confidence and being motivated. But the lack of confidence comes from them not wanting to show up in progress and show up in perfection. And then the lack of motivation is just, they're just really unclear about what their day looks like and about what they want. And so for it, like what I would tell them, I would first start with the parents. Parents, I would say, do more to invest in your kid. Do more to have conversations with your child as it relates to the things that they want to accomplish in life. And Oprah taught a very important lesson when she said, if you don't know what you want to do, at least figure out what it is that you don't want to do. At least you'll be one step closer to figuring it out. Try as many things as you possibly can and take from it. Okay, I enjoyed this part of it. I didn't enjoy that part of it. And okay, so let's find something where it also has this one part that you enjoyed and doesn't have this other part that you didn't enjoy. So for the parents, I would say take more of an interest in what your child is good at. Sort of like my teachers and my educators did for me when they noticed that I was good at writing and I had that talent of writing, and they pushed me to that. And eventually I understood what they were saying. So I would say that to the adults. And then also there's a trend that's going on social media. There's an audio going on social media right now that's trending. And the sound says there's no such thing as lazy kids. They're just lazy parents. Parents, if you don't require anything from your kids, they will not deliver anything. If you don't require greatness, they won't deliver greatness. If you don't require them to be phenomenal, and if you allow them to be average, that's what your child is going to be. Look at Joe Jackson and the Jackson 5. Look at Richard King and Serena and Venus Williams. They required greatness from their children. Did it hurt? Yes. Was it, probably a little toxic in there? Yes, for sure. But they required something. Have expectations and set a standard for your kids, for your family, that this is who we are. This is how we behave. This is how we act. And these are the things that we believe and the core principles that we believe. And don't allow them to go out into society and develop those beliefs based off of falsehoods and based off of social media and fake lives that most of them aren't real on social media. So for the parents, raise the standards and start requiring of your kids. And to the kids, man, just try, yo. Even if you look stupid, just try it. Who cares, right? Try it. Document the process and show you getting better at it. Just because you suck at it doesn't mean that you won't eventually be good. It doesn't and I go back on my YouTube channel and look at that first video. It's trash. The first 30 are garbage. The first 15 poems, the poems are good, but the delivery of them poems, ugh. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible. So that's the motivation that I would say that I would give is to them kids, man. Try something every single day. Challenge yourself. Challenge your mind. You have to build your mental your mental fortitude, your ability to problem solve, your ability to critical think. You got to build that every single day, whether that's doing puzzles, Sudoku puzzles, whether that is doing a brain game, whatever it might be, man. You got the same way with your body. If you don't exercise your body will start to look disappointing. If you don't exercise your mind will begin to look disappointing, and you will sound disappointing in everything that you do. So
yeah, I agree. I echo everything that you basically said, man. I would definitely say structure as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Definitely with that, standards, boundaries, expectations. That goes for parents, and it goes for you know, the kids as well. And it's like, yo, you know, start living. I know all of us are in survival, but start living. Like, start dreaming. Like, whatever it is, that glimpse, whatever it is you love to do, at least put an hour to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to ride a bike, go ahead, ride a bike for an hour. You want to work out for an hour, do that for an hour. You want to draw for an hour. Whatever it is you want to do, just put an hour into it, man. You got 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Maximize them days, man. Maximize that time.
Got to,
man. That's a must, bro. Man, this is a powerful conversation, bro.
Appreciate
I just
it,
want to
man.
sit there and say, like, bro, I'm proud of you. I
it.
appreciate it. Everything that you're doing. Year by year, you're elevating, you're growing, you're expanding. You find ways to motivate and innovate and just, you know, amplify spaces that you're in, and building those relationships, being unapologetically yourself, and just seeing you, you know, at your events and speaking and things like that. I'm always in student mode because I'm always feeling like I can always learn more and more. And I appreciate you for like all those things that you're doing, bro. 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year. I already know.
It's going to be a phenomenal year. So, to anybody out there who has a desire to get into the business of what we do in terms of speaking and mentorship, I just dropped the #1 community for speakers that's giving you all of the information that you need. That is 100% free. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to give you any. I'm not trying to buy anything on the back end or anything like that. I'm giving you 100% game, 100% free. I'm talking about the marketing, email marketing, speaking, cold call scripts. I'm giving you EPKs. I'm giving you speaker reels. I'm giving you the game 100%. Please don't go into these other speaker communities and pay $100, $497, $5,000. Some of y'all are paying $20,000 for information that I will absolutely give to you for free. And I guarantee that nobody is breaking down the speaking business the way that I'm breaking it down. I promise you, I can help you get in your bag so you don't got to chase that bag. So send me a DM at BackpackJeff, or you can just download the school app and you can type in the Winner Circle speakers. So the Winner Circle speakers, and you guys, you'll find me all there. And I already put up the whole entire first class. And that's pretty much everything that you need before you actually start speaking. A lot of people want to get into speaking, but they don't do the behind the scenes stuff in order to get themselves squared away and registered, you know, as a business and all of those different things. So get yourself squared away, register all of the stuff that you need to register. And then from there, we dive into the speaking. So this week I'm releasing the actual how to build your speech, because that's another thing that these other programs are not teaching. They teach you how to get speaking gigs, but what's the point of getting speaking gigs if you're not good at speaking? If your speech is trash, what's the point? So I created a formula from books that I've read and information that I've gathered to come together and create a speaking template where you can actually put your speech together, and it'll help you, you know, craft your speech. And then from there, I'm going to teach you how to get booked. And then from there, I'll also not only teach you how to get booked on speaking stages, I'll also teach you how to create and sell a curriculum too.
See that, like I said,
For
before,
free.
Like I said, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, y'all, just to backtrack for y'all, just for people that don't know, I met him in 2022, y'all. Sat down. He literally said everything he just sat there and told y'all is living proof right here. I ain't gonna lie. Every single step, being coachable in the process. The light work is easy when the shadow work is done. All that behind scenes stuff, you got to make sure that you take care of that stuff. And you got to be coachable too. I ain't going to lie to you. He's going to hold you accountable. It's been plenty of times where we sat there and told Ayo, Jay, you did one reel. Ayo, I need 3 today. I need this today. I need this. I got to see it. So
Jay keep telling me I'm out speaking. Where's the video?
Yeah, where the video at, bro? Okay, now I see it. Okay, we good. We good. I seen it. It took a little while, champ, but I seen it, bro. But what I'm saying, y'all, is it's important because, like I said, at the end of the day, like, I'm not saying that only just because it's results and being coachable, like literally applying that information. I've been able to apply that information and I've seen it as a result, y'all. So like I said, if you want to do it, you can do it. Be coachable in the process. Know that Rome wasn't built in a day. Know it took its time building that ark. Get started, though. Get started. And make that investment in yourself, for real.
For sure.
And you're going to see it year after year.
And there's no investment but time.
But time, yeah.
There's no financial investment. There's only a time requirement because it's going to take you some time to do the stuff. But the quicker you do it, the faster you'll get paid.
For sure.
That's the way I see it.
I agree. And like I said, you know, when you're building community, man, just go ahead. Like, you know, from me to y'all, I appreciate everybody that taps in with Grind Hard Dream Big, that's supported the movement from everything like that. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just, like I said, grinding hard, dreaming big. So, like I said, my brother Jeff, he just broke it down to y'all. Y'all definitely want to watch this joint back. I ain't gonna lie to you because it was a lot. So, from one brother to another, I already told you I'm proud of you, bro. We're going to keep elevating. We're going to keep winning, keep growing. You already know winners write history.
Losers become a part of the story.
I got to say it again. Winners write history because
losers become a part of the story.
And you already know the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, everything Vegas in 26.
Facts. That was love.
Vegas, man.
Yes, indeed. My man broke it down. Yes, indeed.
Vegas.
Yes.
Like this.
Soundstripe.